So this is the continuation for section 4.4. 4.5. We're missing a letter in number 4. I'm going to continue with number 4. So we need to write the congruency parts. So here, the only thing that is given is 3 angles, okay? So it's angle GIH is congruent to the angle, and we're talking about this one, to the angle IGF. Then the second angle, the one with the 2 congruency marks, that is angle IGH, is congruent to the angle, the other one with 2 congruency marks is where the I is. So it's angle GIF. And the third angle is, I can just mention the letter because that's the only angle that is at that letter. So it's angle H is congruent to angle F. Now, are these congruent? Not congruent. These are only similar.
But the tally marks are the same.
Oh, because it doesn't have the tick marks on this segment, right?
There's no theorem or postulate that it says that is angle, angle, angle. So these are only similar, they're not congruent. We can only use those 5 theorems, those 3 postulates and 2 theorems that we covered. Other than that, there's no angle, 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 okay? So be careful with that. Problem number 5. In problem number 5, okay, we have a side, we have another side over here, we have an angle, and we have another angle, another pair of angles. So we need to decide, first of all, which postulate we're going to be able to use. We can use several for this one. Which one do you want to use? I can use whichever. Can I use side, angle, side? Well, I cannot use side, angle, side because in order for that to be used, I need W to be congruent. And that's not given congruent. Angle, angle, side is one that we can use, yes. So angle, angle, side we can use because is the 2 angles are not connected by the side. Otherwise, it would be angle, side, angle. So this is just angle, angle, side. So we need to mention those 3 pieces. And how about this one? I don't have to mention the 2 sides. It's just one that I need to prove that the triangles are congruent. So either the double tick mark or the single tick mark, whichever you mention, it would be fine. So let's go ahead and list that. We're going to have, let me mention the angle. Angle D is congruent to angle A. So I'm starting with, this is my first triangle, this is my second triangle. Then it's angle K is congruent to angle L. And then I need to mention a pair of congruent sides. Well, let me start with a single congruency mark. AU is congruent to segment DW. So I already have, yes.
Are we supposed to use the same triangle on the same side? Like, wouldn't it be DW is congruent to AU? Or does it matter?
UW,
No, DW.
DW.
No, never mind.
I'm going from the first triangle, which is this one,
They get you
to the second triangle.
Okay.
So I'm just mentioning an angle with an angle, another pair, and another pair of sides.
Never mind.
No?
I get it. It's just this question that didn't matter.
Oh, all the questions matter. Okay, well, so then what's the reason here? The reason would be angle, angle, side. So they're congruent by the angle, angle, side. Last problem, number 6. Okay, first of all, I need to make a plan. Are they congruent? Yes. By what property or theorem? What postulate or theorem? The HL. See, this is the right triangle. Triangle number 1 would be this one. And triangle number 2 would be this one. So yes, across from the right angle, that's the hypotenuse. And then what about the leg? Which is going to be the leg?
The reflective segment.
By the reflective property is UW. So now let's go ahead and list those three pieces. Which three pieces? Yes, because you need to mention that the triangle has a right angle also. That would be the third piece that you need to mention, okay? So let's start with the sides. Segment UV is congruent to segment WX. Those are the hypotenuse. Now the leg. Segment UW is congruent to segment UW. And the third piece would be the right angles, okay?
Two segments are congruent to each other.
By the
Oh.
reflexive property. They're congruent to itself. Yeah, it's congruent to itself. And now I need to mention the right angle. I need to mention angle X UW and angle VWU are right angles.
Wait, UW is congruent to UW? Yeah.
Yes, is X U W V W U. So I'm referring to this angle here. Okay, so those two are right angles. So I already have the three pieces. I can just label them. This is a hypotenuse, this is the leg, and this is a right angle. So therefore, what's the theorem that we're going to use here, or postulate, or what is it? By the HL. So HL theorem. Any questions about listing the corresponding parts? So far so good? Okay. Now on problem number 7. In number 7, the instructions are to show the information by drawing marks on the figure. So we have to put tick marks. And complete the congruency statement. Okay, so then now they give me the pieces that are congruent. I need to put the congruency, the tick marks. So AC is congruent to EF. Single congruency mark, single congruency mark. Now an angle. Angle A is congruent to angle F. AB. What am I going to put on segment AB? 2 tick marks, because I already used 1 tick mark, congruent to DF. And they're saying that angle D and angle B are right angles. Okay? So you could use 2 different properties here. Okay? It's up to you. Whichever you want to mention would be fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and follow the statement, the triangle that is given, the part of the statement. So they're giving me A, B, and C. So I have to start at A. And A corresponds to F. So I have to go F, D, and E. So it's triangle F, D, and E. Now what reason? Mention all the reasons that are possible here. Side angle side is possible, yes. Side angle side. HL is possible, yes. This is hypotenuse, leg. So let me write those 2. Side angle side. HL. Any other one that you can mention? Angle side angle. Angle side angle. Okay, so it's angle side angle. And those are the only ones that you can use, okay? Now let's do the same thing with number 8. Let's put the tick marks first. KP congruent to NP, so single congruency mark. PQ, now we use what? 2 congruency marks, congruent to PR. Angle K, single angle mark, congruent to angle N. Angle Q, congruent to angle R. Okay, so then here, let me see what they're giving me on the statement. They're giving me K, Q, and P. So where do I start on the other triangle? N, and then I go through what? R and stop at P. So that's what I need to write on the statement. Triangle N, R, P. Now mention one of the properties that you think we can use. Angle, side angle is right. Where's the other angle?
Angle on the side.
The vertical angle. That's right. See, the vertical angle, even though they don't mention that being congruent, we can mark it congruent because by the vertical angle, by vertical angles are congruent. So the one that you mentioned is angle, side angle, right? Angle, side angle. Which other one, Gabby?
Angle, angle, side.
Angle, angle, side. Yes, you could use angle, angle, side. Angle.
Side angle side.
Side angle, side. Let me put a slash. Angle, angle, side is the one that Gabby said. Side angle, side is right, Ricky. Side, angle, side. Side angle, side. Okay, so it's side angle, side. Any other one? I think that's it, right? Those three. We cannot use the HL. We cannot use the side, side, side. So that would be fine. Number 9. So number 9, let's put the congruency marks. BC is congruent to CD. Angle CBE, CBE, so let me put here, congruent. They're not saying that it's a right angle, so it's just congruent. And that's all it's given. God bless you.
And
The vertical is the one that we can mark congruent also. Even though they're not giving it to us, we can mark that congruent. That, absolutely, yes. So then, if I look at the statement ACD, A passes through C, stops at D, then I have to start where on the other triangle? E, pass through what? C and stop at B, right? So it's going to be, let me just put it on number 9. So the blank should have a triangle E, C, B, congruent to triangle. Well, I'm sorry. That's the second blank. That's congruent too. And by what? Angle, side angle. All right, angle, side angle. And that's the only one that we can use in this case. Okay. Okay, go ahead and try the next one, number 10. See if we can get the last one, please. So this one is missing the K at the bottom.